DAE still prefer paper books over ebooks? They both have their merits. I love paper books. But the thing is, I have so many it's just not sustainable anymore. They gather so much dust too. Which I'm allergic to. And keeping them in the cupboards clean is a pain. I like an e-reader to bring with me to travel too. Since it's super light and I travel often. I was skeptical of e-readers at first too. But I do like them. I still get special editions in print of my favorite book series though. There's no prettier home decor than a book-filled cabinet. For me it depends on the type of book. For textbooks I use searchable PDFs on my tablet. Fiction and non-fiction are usually on the Kindle. And biographies I get in print. The benefits I get from the Kindle are taking multiple books around each with their own bookmark. Editable highlights. Bookstore built in. Can still read in the sun or night mode in bed without disturbing the wife. And ebooks are a lot easier to find for free. Paper, I have them physically in my shelves. Which means I can look at them and be reminded of the story I read. Or for a book I bought but haven't read yet. I can see it and be excited for reading it in the future. Also, love looking at nice covers. Other than that, I can go through the book and find and read nice passages again easier. Or if I miss something / want to check something it's easier to do with a physical copy. And reading can be away from electronics which is nice since I often have a sense of I should check social media when I'm on my phone or tablet. Having a physical book helps mitigate that. And also makes it easier to commit to reading since I already bought it so I need to read it. What is a video game that you loved as a child? That hardly anyone talks about now? Star Wars, Rebel Assault, 1993, a rail shooter. But one of the oldest examples of full motion video, FMV, used on the PC. This, along with old Betamax recordings of the Odd and Star Wars Micro Machines made me a full-blown nerd at the age of 4. I played a lot of Barbie games on our computer as a kid and there was one where she was a secret agent that I was obsessed with. I remember getting to travel around the world, I remember a Paris and Egypt map, and do a lot of stealth missions and utilize different outfits. I'm sure if I found it now it'd be awful. But I have really fond memories of playing it. I also remember a horse riding game where you'd get to solve puzzles and ride around the forest. There was a board in the stable with different quests to do. No one seems to have mentioned it. So here goes. Wild Arms. Played the first and third ones as a kid. Got pretty far with WA3 before my PS2 broke down and I wasn't able to finish. Currently playing though WA1 slowly but surely. Honorable mention, the Lunar series. Played through Eternal Blue a fair bit as a kid. Really struggled with it. I need to go back and play Silver Star. Though. Joust. It was amazingly pure, left, right, and flap. If your lance was higher than the enemy's lance, you'd knock them off their ostrich and they'd turn into an egg on the floor. If you didn't pick up the egg in time, it'd hatch into a new knight and another ostrich would pick them up to fight you again. You felt like you were learning a skill as you played. And it was an early example of a world with rules you could exploit to do a few interesting things, though admittedly not many. Is r/true off my chest a creative writing subreddit? Probably. So is Am I the Asshole sub. A lot of Reddit seems to be used for creative writing. Ida for one. I'm just glad upvote and comment counts are not monetized. Given that Hollywood routinely cuts factual events from biopics because audiences believe them to be fake, I don't think anyone's ability to tell fake from real is up to snuff. That's a lot of those kinds of subs. That isn't the only subreddit where people make up stories lol. While some people definitely have some wildly insane stories, I bet at least 90% are made up for the karma. For some it is. But everything I put there is just venting cause it is easier to vent online. It's just a subreddit to get things off your chest. Like anything that's bothering you. No, but most of the people on that sub are extremely gullible and will believe anything a random stranger on the internet posts on there. Oh wow, I was banned from that sub. But now I'm unbanned Keku. I regularly peruse that subreddit and people often do call out the obviously fake ones. It doesn't always happen. But it definitely does happen. I'm there and don't really care if it's fiction, I can't verify it anyway. People often give interesting advice and comments can be fun. Why would people feel a need to call out the stories? Something I never understood honestly. Someone shares an anecdote on the internet and other people don't believe them and despite having no means to verify themselves if it's true or not will just call bullshit. Why though? Why does it matter? Guys, it's the internet. You should assume everything you read is fake and just move on. All the women are actually men. All the men are actually little kids. All the little kids are actually FBI agents. And all the Nigerian princes are totally legit and you should send them money. What's some very common thing that you just can't relate to? Going out, dining out all the time. To me this is a grotesque overconsumption. Even if I can afford it I still know that the homemade steak costs 1/3 of the steak in the restaurant. Having somebody else making my food, outside of travel or business, is just lazy. And society hypes it even, so now everybody is also taking ducking pictures of their food. Pictures of food. And while food becomes a status symbol in the West, the amount of food waste is ever rising. All the while and coincidentally the amount of poverty hunger is also rising. The need to broadcast everything you're doing and thinking on a daily basis, Twitter, IG, etc. I remember when Twitter first came, I was like, who the fuck cares what some random person had for breakfast this morning? And such short messages, there's no room for anything substantial. This thing will never take off. And quat. But it did take off and it still baffles me. Like, I get why someone might be interested in a celebrity. Especially someone like a comedian who might actually have funny things to say. But some rando. Why? The sudden bloodlust for war and more killing. Yes. They attacked first, but still we need to make efforts to stop the killing and the weight towards that has never in history been sending more weapons. Defend what's left. Establish a treaty. Reinforce the borders and for God's sake. Kick the factions who want to profit from war, looking at you. Big Corp, out of the room. No morale high ground will revive the civilians or rebuild the infrastructure. If getting back the land is priority no one instead of getting back to peace. Okay. A bloodbath it is.